Oo, nag-trigger mo. Parang, oh, dati,
Okay, game. Good afternoon, everyone. Before we start, may we call on Engineer Gersal Roydan Rimando for the prayer.
Let us all stand. Praying of glory and protect the Holy Spirit. Dear Lord, we thank you for guiding us today as we begin this procurement activity. We ask for your guidance and wisdom as we carry out our duties and responsibilities. Grant us clarity of mind, fairness in our decisions, and integrity in all what we do. Help us to remain transparent, accountable, and committed to choosing what is most beneficial for the public deserve. May our discussions be productive and respectful, and may the outcome of this procurement activity contribute to the proper and efficient use of the government resources. We entrust this meeting to you, Lord, and ask for your blessings upon everyone present. Participate in your holy name. Amen. Father of the Son of the Holy Spirit.
Once again, good afternoon and welcome to the Privy Conference for 9 Civil Works Project. May I introduce now the members of the bank headed by our bank chairman, Engineer Arturo Pretosi, bank vice chairman, Attorney Mary Rose Vilo, and members, Engineer Wheeler Vince and Engineer Rachel Domake. For the technical working group, we have Ms. Edwina Ong, Engineer Romel Ibay, and Engineer Gersal Froilan Remando. For the bank secretariat, yours truly Maria Crisading Marquez, and to assist us from IT, Von Cyril Kawed, from Procurement Unit, Plastic Glaze, and Lovia Estacio. Sir, majority of the bank members are present. There's a quorum, sir.
Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat. As mentioned, there is a quorum. The Privy Conference for 9 Civil Works now for Secretariat may now for the presentation.
So this Privy Conference for 26A0003, 26A00017, 26A00019, 26A00035, 26A00112, 26A00116, 26A00130, 26A00133, and 26A00160.
Pre-bid Conference. The pre-bid conference shall be held at least 12 calendar days before the deadline for the submission and receipt of bids, but not earlier than 7 calendar days from the PhilJEP's posting of the invitation to bid or bidding documents. The pre-bid conference shall discuss, clarify, and explain, among other things, the eligibility requirements and the technical and financial components of the procurement project, including questions and clarifications raised by the prospective bidders before and during the pre-bid conference. Request for clarifications on any part of the bidding documents or for an interpretation must be in writing and submitted to the back of the procuring entity concerned at least 10 calendar days before the deadline set for the submission and receipt of bids. The back shall respond to the said request by issuing a bid bulletin, duly signed by the back chairperson, to be made available to all those who have properly secured the bidding documents at least 7 calendar days before the deadline for the submission and receipt of bids. For purpose of clarifying and modifying any provisions of the bidding documents, bid bulletins may be issued upon the procuring entity's initiative at least 7 calendar days before the deadline for the submission and receipt of bids. Any modification to the bidding documents shall be identified as an amendment. Any bid bulletin issued by the back shall also be posted in the PhilJEPs in any conspicuous place in the premises of the procuring entity and on the website or social platforms of the procuring entity if available, or such other channels as may be authorized by the GPPB. It shall be the responsibility of all those who have properly secured the bidding documents to inquire and secure bid bulletins that may be issued by the BAC. However, bidders who have submitted bids before the issuance of the bid bulletin must be informed and allowed to modify or withdraw their bids in accordance with the Section 55 of this IRR, Section 51.5.3 of IRR of Republic Act 12009.
For the contract data for 26A00003, retrofitting or strengthening of permanent bridges, Niket Bridge along Manila North Road, location, Pasuking, Ilocos, Norte. Funding source, GAA 2026, ABC 1,927,105 pesos. Scope of works, epoxy injection for cracks on deck slab and girders, carbon fiber plate on girders at midspan. Contract duration, 29 calendar days. Warranty, 15 years. For 26A00017, Special Road Fund, Motor Vehicle Users Charge, as per RA 11239, installation or application of road safety facilities, roadway lighting, along Manila North Road, kilometer 497 plus 758 to kilometers 497 plus 823, kilometer 498 plus 288 to kilometer 498 plus 733. Location, Bacara, Ilocos Norte. Funding source, GAA 2026, ATC 5,444,530 pesos. Scope of works, earthworks, structure excavation and foundation fill, construction of footing and pedestal for solar lights, installation of solar street lights, pole and lamp. Contract duration, 43 calendar days, warranty, 5 years. For 26A00019, Special Road Fund, Motor Vehicle Users Charge, as per RA 11239, installation or application of road safety facilities, roadway lighting along Manila North Road, kilometer 531 plus 549 to kilometer 531 plus 569, kilometer 531 plus 872 to kilometer 531 plus 878, kilometer 531 plus 890 to kilometer 531 plus 917, kilometer 531 plus 958 to kilometer 532 plus 015, kilometer 532 plus 032 to kilometer 532 plus 782. Location, Burgos, Ilocos Norte. Funding source, GAA 2026, ABC 3,986,415 pesos. Scope of works, structure excavation, spreading and compaction of foundation fill, construction of solar footing and pedestal, installation of single-arm solar pole, installation of solar lights, application of white thermoplastic pavement markings. Contract duration, 46 calendar days. Warranty, semi-permanent structures, 5 years. 26A00035, construction of bypass and diversion roads, Laoag to San Nicolas Bypass Road, Barangay 28 San Bernardo, Barangay 29 Santo Tomas to Barangay 54-B Camangaan to Barangay 55-B Salet-Bulangon section, Station 5 plus 400 to Station 6 plus 620, Laoag City, Ilocos Norte. Funding source, GAA 2026, ABC 46,645,205 pesos. Scope of works, earthworks including clearing and grubbing, structure excavation, foundation fill, embankment, aggregate sub-base course, construction of PCCP for 4 lanes, with 330 millimeters thick. Construction of drainage structure, installation of reinforced concrete pipe culvert, 910 millimeter diameter, construction of slope protection, stone masonry. Contract duration 144 calendar days, warranty semi-permanent structures 5 years. 26A00112, construction or improvement of access roads leading to declared tourism destinations, tourism road infrastructure program, Lagit Padilla Road leading to Mount Zion Pilgrim, ecotourism parks and Besay Falls, Barangay Lagit Padilla, Station 1 plus 080 to Station 1 plus 605, Bugalyon, Pangasinan. Funding source, GAA 2026 ABC, 13,993,465 pesos. Scope of works, earthworks, excavation and embankment, spreading and compaction of aggregate subbase course, construction of PCCP, carriageway, 230 millimeter thick, 3.35 meters width both sides, construction of PCCP shoulder, 150 millimeters thick, 1.5 meters width both sides. Construction of slope protection structure, stone masonry. Contract duration 106 calendar days, warranty semi-permanent structures 5 years. 26A00116, construction or improvement of access roads leading to seaports, kalsada tungo sa Paliparan, Riles at Daungan Program, Ilocos Fly-in Cruise Road, Station 1 plus 096 to Station 5, Corimao and Paway, Ilocos Norte. Funding source, GAA 2026, ABC 37,315,585 pesos. The scope of works, earthworks for excavation, embankment, subgrade preparation, the spreading and compaction of aggregate subbase course, construction of PCCP 280 millimeters thick, 3.35 carriageway, 1.5 meters shoulder, 2 lanes. Application of reflectorized thermoplastic pavement marking, white, construction of stone masonry, contract duration 132 calendar days, warranty 5 years. 26A00130, Special Road Fund, Motor Vehicle Users Charge as per RA 11239, installation or application of road safety facilities, roadway lighting, along Manila North Road, kilometer 510 to kilometer 510 plus 450. Location, Pasukin, Ilocos Norte, ABC 4,895,445 pesos. Scope of works, earthworks for structure excavation and foundation fill, construction of footing and pedestal for solar street lights, installation of solar street lights, pole and lamp. Contract duration 44 calendar days, warranty 5 years. 26A00133, Special Road Fund, Motor Vehicle Users Charge as per RA 11239, installation or application of road safety facilities, roadway lighting along Urdaneta Junction, Dagupan, Tuligayan Road, kilometer 209 to kilometer 209 plus 210. Location, Dagupan City, Pangasinan. ABC 1,891,400 pesos. Scope of works, earthworks, structure excavation and foundation fill, construction of footing and pedestal for solar street lights, installation of solar street lights, pole and lamp. Contract duration 35 calendar days, warranty 5 years. 26A00160, construction or upgrading or rehabilitation of drainage along national roads, secondary roads, Urdaneta to Dagupan, Tulingayan Road to kilometer 208 plus 234 to kilometer 208 plus 910, location Dagupan City, Pangasinan. ABC 66,075,480 pesos. Scope of works, earthworks, removal of existing PCCP, 280 millimeter thick, subgrade preparation, spreading and compaction of aggregate subbase cores, construction of PCCP, 0.3 meters thick, construction of lateral drainage, construction of sand trap, white thermoplastic pavement markings. Contract duration 153 calendar days, warranty 5 years.
Eligibility requirements. Class A documents in case the bidder is not yet registered in DPWH. For legal documents, SEC, DTI or CDA, or also known as Cooperative Development Authority. Mayor's permit issued by the city or municipality where the principal place of business of the prospective bidder is located. In cases of recently expired mayor's or business permit, it shall be accepted together with the official receipt as proof that the bidder has applied for renewal within the period prescribed by the concerned local government unit, provided that the renewed permit shall be submitted as a post-qualification requirement. Tax clearance certificate as finally reviewed and approved by BIR. Technical documents. PCAB or special PCAB license in case of joint venture. Records of completed contracts for both government and private. Records of all its ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid, and shall be supported with notice of award and or contract, notice to proceed issued by the owner, and certificate of accomplishment signed by the owner or project engineer. Records of single largest completed contracts similar to the contract to be bid, except under conditions provided under the rules, and shall be supported with contract, CPES rating sheets, and or certificate of completion and certificate of acceptance. Adjusted to current price using Philippine Statistics Authority Current Price Index. Should have a contract amount equivalent to at least 50% of the ABC. A contract shall be considered similar to the contract to be bid if it has the same major categories of work. For financial documents, A. Audited financial statement stamp received by the BIR or its duly accredited and authorized institutions for the preceding calendar year, which should not be earlier than 2 years from the date of bid submission. B. Tax returns filed and taxes paid through the BIR electronic filing and payment system. C. Computation of NFCC of at least equal to ABC computed using the prescribed formula. NFCC is equal to the current assets minus current liabilities multiplied to 15 minus the value of unfinished projects, including awarded projects not yet started, coinciding with the contract to be bid. Per GPPB Resolution Number 18 Series of 2017, in lieu of the Class A eligibility documents which were uploaded and maintained current and updated in PhilJeps, Bidders are required to submit their PhilJEP's certificate of registration during bid submission in the case infrastructure projects pursuant to Section 20 of Republic Act 12009 and its IRR. Eligible bidders. For purposes of determining the eligibility of bidders using the criteria stated in Section 52.4 of Republic Act 12009, the prospective bidder shall submit its valid and updated PhilJEP certificate of registration pursuant to the requirements provided in Section 20 of Republic Act 12009. To ensure that the prospective bidder is technically and financially capable to undertake the procurement project, the BAC shall also require the submission of the following documents using the forms prescribed in the bidding documents. A. Statements of the bidder of all its ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the procurement project. B. Statement of the bidder's SLCC similar to the procurement project except under conditions provided for in sections 52.4.1.3 and 52.4.2.4 of this IRR within the relevant period as provided in the bidding documents in the case of goods. In case the prospective bidder is a joint venture, the following documents shall be required. A. Valid Joint Venture Agreement or JVA in case the joint venture is already in existence. In the absence of a JVA, duly notarized statements from all the potential joint venture partners shall be included in the bid, stating that they will enter into and abide by the provisions of the JVA in the event that the bid is successful. Failure to enter into a joint venture in the event of a contract award shall be a ground for the forfeiture of the bid security. B. JV bidders shall submit a JVA in accordance with Republic Act Number 4566 or the Contractor's License Law and its IRR. Each partner of the joint venture shall submit the respective PhilJEP certificate of registration in accordance with the Section 20.2.9.1 of this IRR. The submission of technical and financial eligibility documents by any of the joint venture partners constitutes compliance, provided that the partner responsible to submit NFCC shall likewise submit the statement of all of its ongoing contracts. The following persons or entities shall be allowed to participate in the bidding for infrastructure projects. A. Duly licensed Filipino citizens or sole proprietorships. B. Partnerships duly organized under the laws of the Philippines and of which at least 60% of the interest belongs to the citizens of the Philippines. C. Corporations duly organized under the laws of the Philippines and of which at least 60% of outstanding capital stock belongs to citizens of the Philippines. D. Cooperatives duly organized under the laws of the Philippines. Or E. Persons or entities forming themselves into a joint venture, for example, a group of 2 or more persons or entities that intend to be jointly and severally responsible or liable for a particular contract. provided, however, that in accordance with Executive Order Number 65, Series of 2018, Filipino ownership or interest of the joint venture concerned shall be at least 60%. Provided further that joint ventures in which Filipino ownership or interest is less than 60% may be eligible where the structures to be built require the application of techniques or technologies which are not adequately possessed by a person or entity meeting the 60% Filipino ownership requirement. Provided further that in the latter case, Filipino ownership or interest shall not be less than 25%. For this purpose, Filipino ownership or interest shall be based on the contributions of each of the member of the joint venture as specified in their JVA. Provided finally that the primary purpose of each member of the joint venture must be similar or related to the requirement of the project to be bid out. In accordance with Republic Act Number 4566 or the Contractor's License Law as amended by Republic Act Number 11711 or an act further amending Republic Act Number 4566, the persons or entities enumerated in Section 52 of Republic Act 12009 may participate in the procurement or infrastructure projects if it has been issued a license by the PCAB to engage or act as a contractor. The bidder must have completed an SLCC that is similar to the procurement project to be bid, and whose value adjusted to current prices using the PSA consumer price indices must be at least 50% of the ABC to be bid, provided that any change to the 50% requirement may be allowed, subject to the recommendation of the procuring entity, which shall be submitted to the GPPB for consideration. Provided further that contractors under small a and small b categories without similar experience on the procurement project to be bid may be allowed to bid if the cost of such contract is not more than the allowable range of contract cost of the registration, based on the guidelines as prescribed by the PCAB. Moreover, a contract shall be considered similar to the procurement project if it has the same major categories of work. The procuring entity may clarify in the bidding documents what is regarded as major categories of work, guided by the principle of proportionality and fit-for-purpose approach. 52.4.2.5, the SLCC shall be supported by an owner's certificate of final acceptance issued by the project owner other than the contractor, or a final rating of at least satisfactory in the CPES or a similar performance and monitoring system. In the case of contracts with the private sector, an equivalent document shall be submitted. 52.4.2.6, the computation of a bidder's NFCC must be at least equal to the ABC to be bid, calculated as follows. NFCC is equal to current assets minus current liabilities times 15, minus the value of all outstanding or uncompleted portions of the project under ongoing contracts, including awarded contracts yet to be started, coinciding with the procurement project to be bid, provided that a different formula may be adopted subject to the recommendation of the procuring entity, which shall be submitted to the GPPB for consideration. The value of the domestic bidder's current assets and current liabilities shall be based on the latest AFS submitted to the BIR. Submission and receipt of bids. The first bid envelope shall contain the following technical documents. Number 1. PhilJob's Certificate of Registration in accordance with Section 20 of Republic Act 12009. Number 2. Statement of the prospective bidder of all its ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid. Number 3. Statement of the bidder's single largest completed contract similar to the contract to be bid, except under conditions provided under the rules. Number 4. Special PCAB license in case of joint ventures. Number 5. Original copy of bid security. If in the form of a surety bond, submit also a certification issued by the Insurance Commission or original copy of notarized bid securing declaration. Number 6. Project requirements, which shall include the following: A. Organizational chart for the contract to be bid. B. List of contractors' key personnel. Example: project manager, project engineers, material engineers, and foremen, to be assigned to the contract to be bid with their complete qualification and experience data. C. List of contractors' major equipment units which are owned, leased, and or under purchase agreements, supported by proof of ownership or certification of availability of equipment from the equipment lessor or vendor for the duration of the project as the case may be. 7. Original duly signed omnibus sworn statement in accordance with Section 54.3 of this IRR. Number 8. ISO 9001:2015 certification requirement for large and medium contractors for project above 30 million. Number 9. Latest general information sheet reflecting the beneficial ownership information duly received by the Securities and Exchange Commission for corporations. Number 10. The prospective bidder's computation of net financial contracting capacity, and number 11, if applicable, duly signed joint venture agreement in accordance with Republic Act No. 4566 and its IRR. The second bid envelope shall contain the financial documents. 1. Original or duly signed and accomplished financial bid form. 2. Original or duly signed bid prices in the bill of quantities. 3. Duly accomplished detailed estimate form including a summary sheet indicating the unit prices of construction materials, labor rates, and equipment rentals used in coming up the bid. And number 4, cash flow by quarter. Form of bid security. Bid validity period 120 CD from the date of submission of bids. Bid security validity period 120 CD from the date of submission of bids. Form of bid security. A. Cash or cashier's or manager's check issued by a bank. For biddings conducted by LGUs, the cashier's or manager's check may be issued by other 2% banks certified by the BSP as authorized to issue such financial instrument. Amount of bid security, 2%. B. Bank draft or guarantee or irrevocable letter of credit issued by a bank, provided, however, that it shall be confirmed or authenticated by a bank if issued by a foreign bank. For biddings conducted by LGUs, bank draft or guarantee or irrevocable letter of credit may be issued by other banks certified 5% by the BSP as authorized to issue financial instrument. Amount of bid security, 5%. C. Surety bond callable upon demand issued by a surety or insurance company certified duly 5% by Insurance Commission as authorized to issue such security. Amount of bid security 5%. D. Bid securing declaration. Amount of bid security not applicable.
For the major and similar categories of work for 26A00003, major categories of work, bridges, retrofitting concrete superstructure without piles, 26A0017, major categories of work, electrical work, construction road safety system. 26A0019, major categories of work, electrical work, construction, road safety system. 26A0035, major categories of work, road construction PCCP. 26A00112, major categories of work, roads construction PCCP. 26A00116, major categories of work, roads construction PCCP. 26A00130, major categories of work, electrical work, construction, road safety system. 26A00133, major categories of work, electrical work, construction, road safety system. And for 26A00160, major categories of work, roads, construction, PCCP.
Bid evaluation. The ABC shall be the upper limit or ceiling for acceptable bid prices. If a bid price as evaluated and calculated in accordance with this IRR is higher than the ABC, the bidder submitting the same shall be automatically disqualified. There shall be no lower limit or floor on the amount of the award. Members of the BAC, its staff and personnel, Secretariat, and DWG, as well as observers, are prohibited from making or accepting any communication with any bidder regarding the evaluation of their bids until the issuance of the notice of award. However, the BAC through its Secretariat may ask the bidder in writing for clarification of its bid. All responses to request for clarification shall be in writing. The BAC shall evaluate the financial component of the bids to determine the lowest calculated bid using the following steps. Number 1. The BAC shall immediately conduct a detailed evaluation of all bids using non-discretionary criteria to consider the following. A. Completeness of the bid. Unless the instructions to bidders specifically allow partial bids, bids not addressing or providing all of the required items in the bidding documents, including, where applicable, bill of quantities, shall be considered non-responsive and thus automatically disqualified. However, when no price or a zero or a dash is indicated in a required item in the bid form, the same shall be construed that is being offered for free to the government, except those required by law or regulations to be provided for. And letter B, arithmetical corrections. The BAC shall consider computational errors and omissions to enable proper comparison of all eligible bids. It may also consider bid modifications if expressly allowed in the bidding documents. Any adjustment shall be calculated in monetary terms to determine the calculated prices. 2. The BAC shall evaluate all bids on an equal footing to ensure fair and competitive bid comparison. For this purpose, all bidders shall be required to include the cost of all taxes, such as but not limited to value-added tax, income tax, local taxes, or other fiscal levies and duties, if applicable, which shall be itemized in the bid form and reflected in the detailed estimates. Such bids, including said taxes, shall be the basis for the bid evaluation, and comparison. Number 3. In case of discrepancies between bid prices in figures and in words, the latter shall prevail. Total price per item and unit price for the item as extended for multiplied by the quantity of that item, the latter shall prevail. Stated total price and the actual sum of prices of component items, the latter shall prevail. Unit cost in the detailed estimate and unit cost of the bill of quantities, the latter shall prevail. And amount in price, schedule, and in the bid form, the latter shall prevail. Number 4. Bids shall then be ranked in ascending order of their total calculated bid prices, as evaluated and corrected for computational errors and other bid modifications to identify the LCB. Total calculated bid prices as evaluated and corrected for computational errors and other bid modifications which exceed the ABC shall be disqualified. Number 5. The entire evaluation process for the procurement of goods and infrastructure projects using LCB as criteria shall be completed within 7 calendar days from the deadline for receipt of proposals. Post-qualification. Number 1. The bidder with the LCB shall undergo post-qualification to determine whether the bidder concerned complies with and is responsive to all requirements and conditions as specified in the bidding documents. Number 2. Within 5 calendar days from receipt by the bidder of the notice from the bank that the bidder has the LCB, the bidder shall submit all the eligibility documents supporting its field job certificate of registration, its latest income and business tax returns filed for the preceding quarter, which should not be earlier than 2 quarters from the date of submission and receipt of bids, and other appropriate licenses and permits required by law and stated in the bidding documents. Failure to submit any of post-qualification requirements on time or a finding against the veracity thereof shall disqualify the bidder for award, provided that in the event that a finding against the veracity of any of the documents submitted is made, it shall be cause the forfeiture of the bid security in accordance with Article 21 of the Act and this IRR. 63.3. During post-qualification, the bank shall verify and validate the veracity, authenticity, and validity of all the eligibility documents supported the field job certificate of registration and all the other statements made and documents submitted by the bidder with the LCB using non-discretionary criteria as stated in bidding documents. This criteria shall consider, but shall not be limited to the following. A. Legal requirements. To verify, validate, and ascertain licenses, certificates, permits, and agreements submitted by the bidder, and the fact that it is not included in any blacklist as provided in Section 54 of this IRR. For this purpose, the GPPB shall maintain a portal which contains the consolidated file of all blacklisted contractors. B. Technical requirements. To verify and validate the bidder's stated compliance with the requirements specified in the bidding documents. C. Financial requirements. To verify and validate the bid price proposal of the bidder and, whenever applicable, the required committed line of credit in the amount specified in over the period stipulated in the bidding documents, or the bidder's NFCC to ensure that the bidder can sustain the opening cash flow of the transaction. 63.4. If the bank determines that the bidder with the LCB passes all the criteria for post-qualification, it shall declare the said bid as the LCRB or HRRB. 63.8. The post-qualification process shall be completed in not more than 12 calendar days from the determination of the LCB. In exceptional cases, the post-qualification period may be extended by the HOPE, but in no case shall the aggregate period exceed 45 calendar days. Contract Award. The bank shall recommend to the HOPE the award of contract to the bidder with the LCRB as the case may be after the post-qualification process has been completed, within a period not exceeding 10 calendar days from the determination and declaration through a resolution by the back of the LCRB as the case may be, and the recommendation of the award, the HOPE or its duly authorized representative shall approve or disapprove the said recommendation. In case of approval, the HOPE or its duly authorized representative shall immediately issue the notice of award to the bidder with the LCRB. In the event that the approving authority shall disapprove the resolution on the award of contract, such disapproval shall be based only on valid, reasonable, and justifiable grounds as enumerated under Section 70 to be expressed in writing. A copy of the decision disapproving the resolution shall be furnished to the back and the bidder. 66.4. When applicable, the back shall conduct a post-qualification of the bidder with the next LCB as provided in Section 63.7 of this IRR. A request for reconsideration may be filed by the bidder with the HOPE within 3 calendar days from the receipt of the notice of disapproval or the explanation for the inaction. The HOPE shall resolve with finality the request for reconsideration within 7 calendar days from the filing thereof and furnish the bidder a copy of the resolution immediately from its promulgation. In no case shall the request for reconsideration stay or delay the bidding process. However, the request for reconsideration must first be resolved before any award is made. Contract Award. Within the 10 calendar days to the HOPE from receipt by the winning bidder of the notice of award, the following conditions should be applied before the contract may be awarded. Within a period not exceeding 10 calendar days from the determination and declaration through a resolution by the back of the LCRB as the case may be, and the recommendation of the award, the HOPE or its duly authorized representative shall approve or disapprove the said recommendation. In case of approval, the HOPE or its duly authorized representative shall immediately issue the notice of award to the bidder with the LCRB. In the event that the approving authority shall disapprove the resolution on the award of contract, such disapproval shall be based only on valid, reasonable, and justifiable grounds as enumerated under Section 70 to be expressed
The
in
following
writing.
conditions
A
should be
copy of the
complied before the
decision
contract may be
disapproving the
awarded.
resolution
Notice of
shall
award to
be
the bidder
furnished to
signed
the back and
conformity.
the bidder.
Performance security in any of the
66.4. When
forms specified in
applicable,
these
the bank
instructions
shall
to
conduct a
bidders. Construction
post-qualification of
methods.
the
Construction
bidder
is
with the
scheduled in the
next
form of precedence
LCB as
diagram, bar
provided
chart
in
with
Section
S-curve and cash flow.
63.7
Manpower
of
is
this
scheduled. Equipment
IRR.
utilization is
A
scheduled.
request for
Construction safety
reconsideration
and
may be
health
filed
program.
by the bidder with the
Contractors
HOPE
orders
within
insurance.
3 calendar days
Certification
from the
under oath
receipt of the
stating
notice
that the
of
contractor
disapproval
is
or
free
the
and clean of all
explanation for
tax
the inaction.
liabilities.
The hope shall resolve with
Common
finality
reasons for
reasons
rejection of
for
bids,
rejection of
ineligibility, and
bids
post
within
disqualification of
eligibility
bidder,
days, post
failure to submit
disqualification
original
of
copy
bidder,
of the
furnish
surety
the
bond
bidder a
certified by the
copy of the
insurance
resolution,
commission
to submit
indicating
original
the name of
copy of the
project,
surety
the
bond.
procuring
In
entity,
no
and the
case
name of
shall the
contractor.
commission
Charter bid
indicating the
validity
name of
estates
project
security
regulate
validity
the
period,
procuring
failure
entity.
to declare all
However,
its
the
ongoing
request for
government and private
reconsideration
contracts awarded
must
but not
further
yet
be
started,
resolved before
overlapping
bid
of
award
planned
validity
equipment and committed
period.
technical personnel,
Contract
failure
failure
to
to
indicate the
declare all
validity
its
of bid in
ongoing
the bid form,
government private
late submission of
contract to the
bid,
bidder but
failure
not
to
yet
submit
started.
supporting
As the
documents,
case may
proof
be,
of ownership,
after overlapping of
certification of
the alleged
availability of
process has been
equipment from
completed
equipment lessor and
within a
vendor,
period
for the
not
duration
exceeding
of the
10
project,
calendar days, failure
if
from the
equipment pledge
determination
is to be leased
declaration
or
into a
purchased,
resolution by the
negatively
back of the
paid to the ongoing
LCRB
projects,
as the
negative
submission of
15% or
bid to
more, or
recommendation
negative
of the
10%
award,
in
the
each of two
failure to
or more
submit
ongoing
supporting
projects,
document, example, shall
unsatisfactory
approve of
specification,
ownership,
not
the
using the
certification
standard
of
forms attached to the
availability in
Philippine
case of
bid
approval
documents,
from the
faults
equipment
or
lessor
misleading
or vendor
declarations in
for
the
the duration
feasibility
of the
documents.
project. Immediately issue the notice of award
For
to the
purchasing
bidder,
of
which
bidding
is
documents,
LCRB.
the
The bidder
bidders
is
or
then
contractors
contractor
shall provide any
authority
of the
shall
following
then file a
documents before
resolution
purchasing
on the
bidding
award of
documents.
entering
Company
bidding.
ID or
Such
any government
disapproval
issued
shall be
ID.
based only on
Authorization
valid,
letter is not an
reasonable, and
authorized liaison
justifiable
officer to
grounds as
CWE.
enumerated
Special
under
power of
Section
authority for
70,
sole
if not an
proprietorship or
authorized
board or
liaison
partnership
officer
or
in a
joint venture
copy of the
resolution
decision
with
disapproving the
secretary certificate
resolution
for
for sole
corporation or
proprietorship to the
partnership
back
or
and the
joint
bidder.
venture or cooperative, letter of
66.4 when a
intent to foreign
resolution
funded
with shall
projects.
conduct a post-qualification of the
Common
bidder
reasons in the
the
submission of bid,
non-submission of
authority
bid
of the
as provided
signatory
in
to sign
Section
on behalf of the
63.7
bidder.
to
For
sign
single
this
proprietor,
bidder.
signatory should be
A
the owner or
request for
proprietor only.
reconsideration may be
Corporation or
filed by the
cooperative
bidder,
board
the
secretary
owner or
certificate and board
3 calendar days
resolution,
from the receipt
joint
of the
venture,
notice
joint
of
venture
corporation
resolution or
or the
agreement,
explanation or the
partnership as
secretary's
indicated in the
certificate. The
articles
hope
of
shall resolve
partnership.
with finality the request for
Department orders
reconsideration
and memorandum,
within 7
DO9
calendar
series of
days
'22
from the
technical
filing thereof,
requirements for
and
civil works
furnish the
projects for
bidder a
public
copy of
bidding,
the resolution
DO58 series
immediately
of
projects
2012
for
publication
public
of
bidding.
material
In no
data,
case shall the
Department
order
of a
number
bidder's bid
consideration
documents,
stay or delay the bidding
DO11 series
process.
of
However,
2017
the
inclusion of
request
the
for
biddable materials handling
reconsideration
equipment,
must be
the technical
resolved
component of
before
the
any
bid.
award is made.
DO110 series of 2024
Inclusion of
implementation
the
of
minimum materials
9001
testing the
certificate
component
of
award of
ISO
contract to the
certification
bidder
requirements
to
for
the
large A,
LCRB.
medium C, and medium A contractors, the procurement
Series
of
of 2020
infrastructure projects of the department.
within a period not exceeding 10
DO169 series
calendar
of
days
2015
from
to
the determination of
2025
declaration
guidelines on the accreditation and assignment of contractors and consultants project reviews, Memo 97.7,
the hope is duly
11925,
authorized
Directive to require submission of general information reflecting beneficial ownership information and sole and eligibility and beneficial ownership as part of the bidding document.
to the bidder with the
Reminder
LCRB.
for
In the event that the approving
26A000B,
authority shall disapprove the
26A0017,
resolution on the award of
26A0019,
contract, such disapproval shall be based
26A00035,
only on valid, reasonable, and
26A00112,
justifiable grounds as
26A00116,
enumerated under Section 70 to be expressed in writing.
26A00133, and
A copy of the
26A00160.
decision disapproving the resolution
The
shall
deadline
be
for
furnished
submission
to
of
the back and the
clarification,
bidder.
10 days before submission of
66.4
bids.
when
Deadline for
applicable,
submission
the
of
back
bids,
shall
June
conduct a
15, 2026
post-qualification
at 10
of the
a.m.
bidder
Number
with
of
the
copies
next
of bid
LCB
proposal.
as provided in Section
2 original copies of the
63.7
first and
of
second
this
components of
IRR.
each bid.
A request
Dates
for
of submission of bids,
reconsideration may
bids
be
and awards
filed by the
committee,
bidder
second
with the
floor
hope
conference room,
within 3
DPWH
calendar
Regional
days
Office 1,
from the
City of San
receipt of the
Fernando,
notice of
Luzon.
disapproval
Sir, that
or the
ends the
explanation for
presentation.
the inaction. The hope shall resolve with finality the
Thank you,
request
Ma'am
for
Tricia.
reconsideration
To
within 7
all
calendar
members
days from
We
the
have the
filing
memo
thereof and
dated
furnish the
May
bidder a
28,
copy of the resolution
2026
immediately from its
from
promulgation.
Undersecretary Leon
In
P.
no
Espiritu
case
regarding
shall
the
the
strengthening
request for
of
reconsideration
disclosure of
stay or delay the
ongoing
bidding process.
and awarded but
However,
not yet
the
started,
request for
and also the
reconsideration
verification of
must first be
NSCC.
resolved
We have a new
before
date
any
for the
award is
computation for the
made.
post-qualification report sa NSCC.
Contract
Receive
award.
na lang yung May
The
28,
BAC shall
2026 na
recommend to the
Senator
Hope
Chief
the
Justice
award of
Espiritu.
contract to the bidder
But
with the
all prospective bidders must
LCRB
submit
as the
fully
case may be
yung
after the
mga
post-qualification
ongoing
process has been completed.
ongoing
Within a
and
period not
awarded but not
exceeding
yet
10
started
calendar
na project.
days from the determination and declaration
Sa mga hindi
through a
nakaka-comply
resolution by the BAC of the
draft for
LCRB
disqualification
as the
as
case may
sa
be,
memo ni
and the
Atty.
recommendation of the award, the Hope or its duly authorized representative shall approve or disapprove the said recommendation. In case of approval, the Hope or its duly authorized representative shall immediately issue the notice of award to the bidder with the LCRB. In the event that the approving authority shall disapprove the resolution on the award of contract,
After this,
such
sir, may
disapproval
ginawa ng
shall be
post-qualified.
based only on valid, reasonable, and justifiable grounds as enumerated under Section 70 to be expressed in writing. A copy of the decision disapproving the resolution shall be furnished to the BAC and the bidder.